The first official trailer for episode 190 of Kuruluş Osman has been released, and once again, it delivers a gripping preview filled with action and suspense. As always, the visuals are well executed, but this time, there are several critical scenes that deserve a closer look. One of the standout moments features Gonca being struck by an arrow, shown in a severely wounded state. It appears the Mongols are actively pursuing her, and there's a real possibility they may either capture or kill her if no help arrives in time. This raises an important question. Who will come to Gonca's rescue and how? The trailer also reveals internal conflict, particularly between characters Nazari and Bazetin, who seem to be engaged in a direct fight. This is significant because Bazetin had previously been aligned with Claudia, and the clash suggests a rift within the enemy rank, or perhaps shifting loyalties that could impact the broader power structure. Another tense development involves Hassan, a respected ally of Osman Bey, who is shown openly challenging Osman. In a heated confrontation, Hassan accuses Osman of forming alliances with unbelievers and declares that he can no longer stand by his side. This leaves viewers wondering, has Hassan truly betrayed Osman? Or is there a deeper strategy or misunderstanding at play? The tension continues to rise as the trailer shows Bala Hatun and Halimi falling into a Mongol trap. From the sequence, it's clear that they are in serious danger, possibly facing injuries or worse. Halimi is seen crying out for help, and the fear in her voice suggests a moment of real vulnerability. However, both Bala and Halimi are seasoned fighters. The trailer briefly shows them ducking and moving with purpose, which may indicate they've recognized the ambush and are preparing to fight their way out. This could mean that despite the threat, they both survived the ordeal unharmed. As these storylines unfold, it becomes increasingly clear that episode 190 is set to be a turning point, filled with betrayal, battles, and emotional stakes that will reshape the journey of Osman Bey and those around him. One of the most powerful moments in the recent developments of Kuruluş Osman was the strike Osman Gazi delivered to Kaladas, a blow so forceful that it's likely to leave a lasting impact. Kaladas, in an attempt to shield himself, gathered his soldiers in front of him to form a human shield, hoping it would protect him from Osman's charge. But Osman, showing no hesitation, drove his horse straight through the barrier, leaping over the shields and crashing down upon Kaladas. While this might suggest that Kaladas could be fatally injured, it's not entirely certain. His character has yet to fully reveal the extent of his strength and ability, which means the writers might be saving more for future episodes. There's also the possibility that he survives with the help of Uluk Kachar or loyal soldiers who could intervene and extract him from danger. It's too early to definitively state whether Kaladas will die soon, but what's clear is that the blow he received from Osman's sword is a significant one, both physically and symbolically. When Kaladas was first introduced, there were speculations that he would be written off by the end of Season 6. If that's still the case, his final moments may be approaching. However, for a central villain, some viewers feel he lacks the depth and intellectual presence of past enemies like Nikolai, who was both strategic and fearless. This might be why there's growing anticipation that Muhammad Mudak will eventually introduce a more formidable foe for Osman Bey, someone who can challenge him, not just in combat, but also in mind and leadership. According to emerging plot hints, the siege and eventual conquest of Bursa Castle is expected by the season finale, a key event that may coincide with Kaladas' departure from the story. Kaladas might only appear in a handful of episodes moving forward, and attention is gradually shifting toward his son, Kochar. While Kochar's presence has been brief so far, it's possible that the writers may extend his role, though most predictions suggest he may fall before his father does. Interestingly, Kochar's introduction broke from the usual Mongol pattern. Unlike most Mongol envoys who demand tribute or gold upon arrival, Kochar didn't ask Osman for wealth or the hand of his daughter. This divergence hints that his motivations might be more personal or political, rather than materialistic. It adds a layer of unpredictability to his character, making his next moves harder to anticipate and his ultimate role in the conflict more intriguing. Kochar's main objective appears to be capturing Osman Gazi's son and daughter in order to earn favor and a reward from Uluk Kachar. However, it seems likely that this plan will backfire dramatically. Osman, true to his history of decisiveness and firm retaliation, is expected to execute Kochar and send his severed head to Ulu Kachar as a clear message. This would be in line with the fate of previous Mongol envoys and warriors who underestimated Osman's resolve. Almost all of them eventually faced the same brutal consequences. In the next episode, we're likely to get more clarity regarding Halime's situation. Based on current development, it's reasonable to believe that Halime will return safe and reunite with Osman Gad. Fatma too is expected to be ready. The previous episode offered a strong emotional payoff, especially with Halime's return, which brought a sense of relief and joy to the audience. Now that she's back with her family, her presence adds warmth and emotional balance to the story. Turning to Gangsha, although she is currently in a vulnerable position after being struck by an arrow, her story is far from over. There's no need for panic. Gangsha will survive. She remains a central female character with more to contribute. If you observe the trailer closely, Bala Hatun and Halime were seen heading toward the area where Gonka and Aladdin are believed to be. This heavily implies that either Bala or Halime will reach her in time and provide help. Alternatively, Orhan Bey may arrive to eliminate the Mongol threat and rescue Gonka himself. Either way, her arc will continue, and despite her injury, she will not be written off. Gonka is portrayed as a resilient woman, and this setback won't be the end of her journey. Lastly, there's the issue of Hassan, who has seemingly turned against Osman Ghazi. While it looks like a betrayal on the surface, there's reason to believe that this could actually be part of a larger plan orchestrated by Osman himself. The tribal environment is never free from trade, and it's possible that Osman is using this situation to expose internal threats or to mislead the enemy. Hassan's sudden shift in loyalty may have a deeper, strategic purpose that has yet to be revealed. As the series progresses, such twists continue to keep the audience engaged, demonstrating that not everything is as it seems in the world of Kuruluş Osman. As the tension in Kuruluş Osman continues to build, the aftermath of Kochar's failed plan and the fallout from Hassan's apparent betrayal are expected to drive the narrative in a more complex and emotionally charged direction. With Kochar's demise almost certain, whether through direct execution or during battle, Ulu Kachar may perceive this as both a personal insult and a strategic threat. This could provoke a more aggressive response from the Mongol front, pushing the already fragile region into an even more dangerous conflict. Osman Bey, however, is not unfamiliar with such provocation. His likely goal is to use Kochar's fate as a warning, asserting that any attempt to use his children as leverage will end in failure and dishonor. Meanwhile, the internal dynamics within the Kayu tribe are growing increasingly intricate. Hassan's shift in loyalty continues to stir suspicion among Osman's closest allies. While many now view Hassan as a traitor, there's growing speculation that his actions could be part of a deeper, more calculated plan. Osman Bey has always been known for his long-game strategy, often allowing deception to run its course in order to reveal hidden enemies. It is entirely possible that Hassan has been positioned as a decoy, either to lure out dissenters within the tribe or to confuse Mongol informants who may have infiltrated the leadership structure. If that's true, we may soon see a reversal in perception, with Hassan proving to be a critical asset in Osman's larger vision. Elsewhere, attention turns back to Gonka's condition. Although she was severely wounded, her survival has been confirmed, and her recovery is now a central emotional threat. This event might mark a turning point in her character development. Until now, Gonka has often played a supporting role, but this near-death experience could awaken a more determined, even vengeful side. Depending on how the writers choose to develop her storyline, Gangsha might step into a leadership position among the women of the tribe, or be directly involved in future operations against the Mongols. Either way, her presence in the story is far from over. At the same time, Halime's return has reignited a sense of unity and hope among Osman's family. Her escape from the Mongol ambush, likely with the help of Bala Hatun, will not go unnoted. This reinforces the theme that the women in Kuruluş Osman are more than background characters. They are capable, brave, and vital to the survival and morale of the entire tribe. Halime and Bala, together, may take on a more active role in defending their people, especially with the threats now targeting both male and female members of the tribe indiscriminately. Looking ahead, the show seems to be preparing the ground for a new primary antagonist. While Kaladas remains present, many fans feel he lacks the complexity and gravitas of earlier villains like Nikolai. This opens the door for the introduction of a more intellectually formidable opponent, someone who can match Osman not just in strength, but in political cunning and strategic foresight. Rumors hint that Muhammad Mudak may soon enter the picture, bringing with him a much larger, coordinated threat that will unify the various enemy factions under one leadership. If this proves true, the series could be heading toward a full-scale war, perhaps culminating in the siege of Bursa, as previously foreshadowed. This looming confrontation also means that Osman must begin transitioning more responsibilities to Orhan, preparing the next generation to lead. With Turgut Bey now back in the fold, the mentorship dynamic between him and Orhan could take center stage, helping shape Orhan's path from soldier to strategist. The relationship between these characters has the potential to become a focal point of emotional and tactical depth, especially if it's set against the backdrop of growing external danger and internal power shift. In summary, the coming episodes of Kuruluş Osman are poised to delve deeper into themes of loyalty, leadership, and legacy. With the lines between friend and foe becoming increasingly blurred, and the stakes rising with every passing scene, the story is clearly moving toward a climactic end-of-season arc that will test every character's strength, both physical and moral. With the balance of power shift and multiple fronts of conflict opening simultaneously, Kuruluş Osman is entering one of its most turbulent phases yet. As Osman Bey continues to manage threats from both the Mongols and Byzantine, it's becoming increasingly evident that the real war is no longer just physical. It's psychological, political, and deeply personal. The tension between loyalty and betrayal, legacy and survival, is now at the forefront. In the coming episodes, we can expect these themes to intensify, especially as Osman begins to prepare not only his soldiers, but also his successors for what lies ahead. Orhan Bey is now taking a more central position in both the narrative and the tribe's leader. His actions in recent episodes suggest a growing maturity, but the real test is still to come. As Osman starts delegating more responsibility, we'll likely see Orhan lead small tactical missions, make independent decisions, and face the consequences of command. The guidance of figures like Bala Hatun, Turgut Bey, and possibly even Gonsha, now recovering but emotionally hardened, could shape Orhan into a more layered character. His emotional connection to the people and his loyalty to his father will likely be challenged in the face of new dangers. Turgut Bey's return continues to be one of the strongest points of this season, having re-established his presence through fierce combat and unwavering loyalty. He's expected to take on an even more active strategic role. Rumors within the storyline point to him being tasked with securing a critical supply route or infiltrating enemy lines to gather intelligence. His unique blend of raw strength and battlefield experience positions him as an indispensable asset. The possibility of tension between him and some of Osman's current commanders still lingers, especially among younger warriors who now feel overshadowed. This generational clash could lead to internal tests of leadership, challenging the unity of the Kayu tribe. Meanwhile, the fate of Kaladas remains uncertain. Although gravely wounded, his death has not been officially confirmed. If he survived, his role may shift from a frontline commander to a more shadowy figure working through others. His son, Kochar, having failed in his mission and likely dead, may become a symbol of his failure, pushing Kaladas into a more desperate and dangerous mindset. He may now turn to unconventional tactics, assassinations, psychological warfare, or sabotage, especially if he receives further support from Uluk Kachar or a yet unknown higher Mongol authority. On the domestic front, the tribe is still recovering from the emotional and physical toll of recent events. Halime's return has brought temporary relief, but her trauma and close brush with death will likely play into future decisions. She and Bala Hatun may start taking more active roles in organizing the tribe's defenses, especially the women and children. This could lead to a broader portrayal of the tribe's social structure, emphasizing that survival requires unity beyond the battlefield. Janka's recovery may serve as a symbolic reminder that even in the face of death, the fight continues, and her arc could evolve into one of resilience and purpose. The build-up to the siege of Bursa also appears to be gaining momentum. Subtle hint: Osman's recent reconnaissance, increased enemy coordination, and logistical preparation suggest that the series is gradually aligning toward a major set-piece confrontation. Bursa represents more than a strategic victory. It symbolizes a shift in power, the expansion of Osman's state, and the beginning of a new era. The writers may use this opportunity to deliver both emotional closure and dramatic elevation for multiple character arcs. Lastly, the question of betrayal continues to hang in the air. Hassan's recent opposition to Osman has many viewers speculating. Could he be acting under Osman's orders as a double agent? Or has his loyalty truly faltered under the weight of political manipulation or personal grievance? Either way, this subplot promises intrigue and eventual revelation, with the potential to shake the tribe's internal structure. As the season nears its climax, the stakes are rising with every episode. What began as isolated conflicts are now merging into a broader war for identity, territory, and legacy. The lines between friend and foe are increasingly blurred, and Kuruluş Osman is setting the stage for a finale that will not only test Osman's strength, but the very foundation of the state he's trying to build.